Now at 9, with 2 months until the city election, mayoral candidate Jeff Robinson spoke on what he wants fixed in Muncie.
An interactive workshop has come to Muncie to teach women about business and entrepreneurship.
Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy endorsed launching an investigation into President Biden. We have the details.
And 5 officers were indicted today on the death of Tyree Nichols. Here's what an attorney has to say.
Has cleared out, but the fog is moving in for tomorrow morning. I'll have the details coming up.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening, and thanks for being with us. I'm Grace Benkowski.
And I'm Demar Robinson. With 2 months until the election, Democratic mayoral candidate Jeff Robinson spoke up about his ideas and plans to implement if he makes it in office.
NewsLink Indiana's Olivia Soloniker joins us in the studio with his plan. Olivia?
Thanks, guys. This afternoon, Robinson held a press conference where he discussed his priorities as the Democratic mayoral candidate. He revealed his 3-step plan to improve the streets and roads of Muncie. Using a revenue bond adding up to $25 million, his team wants to work towards repaving 82 miles of the main roads in Muncie, fixing all sidewalks to be ADA accessible, and creating a, quote, proactive maintenance team focused on cracks, potholes, snow removal, and more.
It can be done. And under my administration, with our community's most pressing issues being our top priority, we'll take big steps to get it done.
Now, Robinson has made it clear that renovating the streets of Muncie is one of his top priorities.
Our job is about serving these citizens and doing what they want us to do.
Now, tomorrow is the mayoral forum at Muncie Central High School at 7 p.m. Robinson and current Mayor Dan Ridenauer will be there. Our Alex Almanza will join us live and bring the latest tomorrow at 9.
Thanks so much, Olivia. Now, we're not nearing that pothole weather yet, but I'm hearing we might have a foggy commute tomorrow and maybe some 70s this week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect.
Hope.
Yeah, guys, not pothole weather quite yet, but we did have quite the cool off compared to yesterday as a cold front pushed through today. That's what also brought us some rain showers earlier in the day, but those rain showers are moving out of the area, but we have some fog that will roll in for tomorrow. Looking at a 24-hour temperature change, that really shows just how much cooler it is today than it was yesterday. 10 degrees cooler here in Muncie, and those cool temperatures will be sticking around through the next week. What I'm tracking is a foggy morning for tomorrow, a cooler week ahead, and we're keeping an eye on those tropics. I'll have the details coming up in my full weather forecast.
5 former police officers from Memphis, Tennessee are facing federal civil rights charges, including deprivation of rights. A grand jury indicted the ex-officers today for their involvement in the beating death of 29-year-old Tyree Nichols.
Body cam video shows police pulled Nichols over after a traffic stop last January. Then he ran from officers. Nichols died several days after that attack.
No one in this country should have to bury a loved one because of police violence. The Justice Department will never stop working to fulfill our duty to protect the American people from excessive and unlawful use of force by officials acting under color of law.
The 5 officers were part of a special unit created to help curb a rise in violent crimes. They're facing multiple charges. The officers all pleaded not guilty to state charges in the case. They also are facing a federal civil lawsuit.
Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announced today that he endorsed launching a formal House committee impeachment inquiry into President Biden. McCarthy signaled throughout the summer recess that he was nearing moving forward with such an investigation related to the president's son, Hunter's business dealings. Republicans hope a formal inquiry will give them more investigative tools to dig for wrongdoing on the part of the president.
This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public. That's exactly what we want to know, the answers. I believe the president would want to answer these questions and allegations as well.
A White House spokesman called McCarthy's move, quote, extreme politics at its worst. The spokesman said McCarthy flip-flopped because he said he wouldn't open an impeachment inquiry without the House vote, but is now doing that. In recent weeks, McCarthy privately told Republicans he hoped to start the impeachment inquiry process by the end of September. He He's also laying the groundwork to argue Republican House members that they need to keep the government funded so they can pursue all investigative threats.
Donald Trump is facing a lawsuit to block his name from the presidential ballot in Minnesota. A liberal group is trying to invoke the 14th Amendment's hidden, quote, insurrectionist ban. Now, a similar lawsuit was filed 2 weeks ago in Colorado. The cases are seen as legal long shots. The post-Civil War provision has only been applied twice since the late 1880s when it was used against former Confederates. The Constitution also doesn't outline specifically how to enforce this ban. Trump has denied any wrongdoing and has vowed to fight to remain on that ballot.
The U.S. government wants to hear directly from Elon Musk about what has unfolded at X. This follows a mass layoffs and other decisions Musk made, which raised questions about X's ability to comply with the law and protect users' privacy. The court filing dated yesterday cites depositions with former X executives, including its former chief information security officer and former chief privacy officer. There is testimony that layoffs and resignations following Musk's $44 billion takeover may have hindered X from meeting its security obligations under a 2011 FTC consent agreement.
Sports betting giant DraftKings is in cleanup mode amid a backlash over a 9/11 themed parlay bet it offered on its app. Monday was the 22nd anniversary of the September 11th terror attacks in New York, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. DraftKings offered a wager titled Never Forget, a parlay bet that the New York Mets, New York Yankees, and New York Jets would win their respective games Monday night. The offering read, quote, bet on these New York teams on winning tonight on 9/11. DraftKings apologized in a statement saying in part, quote, we respect the significance of this day for our country and especially for the families of those who were directly affected.
Poverty has been on the rise in the U.S., especially amongst children. A Census Bureau report out today shows about 12% of kids were in poverty last year. That's compared to roughly 5% the previous year. The jump is since the supplemental measure began in 2009. It corresponds with the end of a pandemic enhancement to the child tax credit. The report shows overall supplemental poverty rates rose 4% in the same time frame.
In just minutes, a landmark antitrust trial that began today in Washington, D.C. against Google.
Plus, Apple unveils their newest iPhone. Find out why longtime users can ditch their old charger next.
I love you!
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
and Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom
Reaching residential areas.
and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back. A free interactive workshop just wrapped up in Minnetrista that helps women reach new heights. The creators of Growing Remarkable Opportunities with Women spoke along with a few others to inspire girls in the community and present opportunities that'll be beneficial to them in the future. Participants got to make crafts with Play-Doh while discussing the importance of starting their own businesses. Organizers of the event wanted participants to leave feeling empowered.
Hi, we're Growing Remarkable Opportunities with Women, and we are a business that supports female entrepreneurs and women in business to grow and start their own businesses.
And we see this impacting the community because when women are empowered to build businesses, to make money, to help support their families, then it empowers the community to grow as well.
Now, the goal of these workshops is to create cumulative growth throughout the community. This exhibit closes September 17th.
In your consumer headlines, Google is set to defend itself in a landmark antitrust trial that began today in Washington, D.C. In its initial complaint, the U.S. government alleged in part that Google pays billions of dollars a year to device manufacturers to be their default search engine. The government also claims that in many cases, Google also pays to block those companies from dealing with other competitors. As a result, the complaint alleged, quote, Google effectively owns or controls search distributions channels for roughly 80% of general search queries in the U.S., end quote. The complaint also alleged that Google's Android operating system deals with device makers, requires cell phones companies to pre-install other Google-owned apps such as Gmail, Chrome, or Google Maps. We're just days away from potential strike of the U.S. auto workers.
The big three automakers and negotiations are heating up. The UAW says it is seeing some progress with its talks with General Motors. Sources say GM's pay increase could reach 20%, but that is still lower than the union's demands of 40% over 4 years. Ford reportedly is only offering a 16% wage hike. Now it's unclear what Stellantis is proposing. Now, for iPhone users who are tired of having to deal with Apple's proprietary Lightning cable, relief has arrived. The company has unveiled the new iPhone 15 lineup, and the new phone ditches the Lightning connection in favor of a charging cable that's compatible with non-Apple products. The iPhone 15 also features an expanded, quote, dynamic island tool that home to alerts, notifications, and other controls. That new tool takes the place of the notch, the black part at the top of the screen that houses the top speaker and the selfie camera. The 6.1-inch phone 15 starts at $799. The 6.7-inch iPhone 15 Plus, now that starts at $899. The new iPhone comes in pink, yellow, green, blue, and black.
If you love to shop from your sofa, here's some good news. Online prices are trending downward. A report out today from Adobe Analytics shows prices dipped 0.4% between July and August. Now, that may not seem like much, but year over year, they declined 3.2%. That is the biggest annual drop in 40 months. The report is a sign inflation might be slowing down, and the pandemic-fueled spike in online prices is succeeding. A report on the consumer price index comes out tomorrow. That is the government's closely watched inflation gauge.
Well, we have fog in the forecast for tomorrow morning, along with a more fall-like feel. I'll have the details coming up after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot.
but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other,
On a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
it's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
The wrath of Mother Nature has hit the U.S. in the wallet pretty hard over the past 9 months.
Weather officials say natural disasters have cost the U.S. more than $23 billion so far this year. Hurricane Lee is heading toward the United States. The National Hurricane Center expects Lee will weaken, but could also expand in size and gain speed over the next few days. The presumed damage caused by Lee will be added to the already record-breaking tab the U.S. has racked up from this year's weather-related catastrophes. The National and Oceanic Atmospheric Administration says in 2023, the U.S. has had 23 disasters that cost at least $1 billion each. That passes 2020's previous record of 22 such incidences. NOAA says there's been nearly $58 billion worth of damage. In Hurricane Idalia, costs have been yet to be tallied. Now, of course, we're giving our thoughts to all those who have been affected by these disastrous storms so far this year, but nationally, weather is kind of scattered all over the place.
Yeah. Hope?
Well, luckily for us here, it's been rather quiet. Actually, today was the first time it's rained in a few weeks now. And as you see here on radar, that rain has pushed out of the area, and that's all connected to a low pressure system that's sitting up in the far northeast. And attached to that was a cold front, which brought us much cooler temperatures, as most of you have felt today, as it was nothing like yesterday. And we do need the rain, as you see here on the drought monitor, abnormally dry conditions throughout the state. That does include Muncie and most of our viewing area as well. And putting the numbers to that, we've seen only 13/10 of an inch of rain here in Muncie. That's an inch less than normal. And take a look at this statistic. Second driest on record, and these record books go back to 1850. So this is the second driest start to September since those record books started. It's been quiet and dry here, but like you guys mentioned earlier, the tropics are pretty active. We have 2 named hurricanes right now. Hurricane Lee, which is a Category 3, and just days ago it was a Category 5, but since then has been downgraded to a Category 3 with 115 mile per hour winds. And also we have Hurricane Margot, which is a Category 1 with 80 mile per hour winds, but that Hurricane Margot is not expected to make any landfall, but Hurricane Lee is expected to make landfall. Right now it's tracking towards the northwest right now, and it is anticipated to downgrade to a Category 1, and by the time it reaches landfall this weekend, it should be only a tropical storm. But taking it back home tonight, we are sitting at a cold low of 46 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Those winds coming out of the northwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. But what we're really keeping an eye on is fog. You see here, it's not going to affect us overnight, but as we get into the early morning hours, that's when the fog starts to roll in. Around 6 a.m., that's really when we start to see it kick into gear, and at 7 a.m., we have less than a mile visibility, and it gets even worse as we get into the 8 a.m. hour. Less than a half a mile visibility here in Muncie, Anderson, and Winchester. So if you are headed out and about tomorrow morning, be sure to take it easy out on the roadways. Give yourself plenty of space between you and the car in front of you, and be careful of the kiddos headed off to school. The fog should start to dissipate as we head into the early afternoon hours. Temperatures in the morning are pretty cold, so you definitely want to grab a jacket on your way out the door, sitting at 48 degrees at 8 a.m., warming up to 65 by the lunchtime hour, and finally hitting our high around 72 degrees at 5 p.m. Looking at the next 7 days, the fall-like feel is back. We have 70s across the board, 74 for your day on Thursday, plenty of sunshine as well, even heading into the weekend. And look at that, 77 degrees for Saturday as family weekend enters the picture. Cardinals home opener as well. We'll see some rain chances starting to enter the picture late Saturday night and early Sunday, but it should not affect Saturday at all. We'll have some intervals of clouds, some sun, but overall a great day to get outdoors.
That'll be awesome. Perfect for Parents Weekend. Thanks so much, Hope. And we'll send it over to Andy for a look at sports.
NFL Superstar season is starting sooner than, or ending sooner than expected, and one local high school squad looks to forge ahead under new leadership. All this and more next in sports.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Andy Neiman with sports. Just 75 seconds into his New York Jets debut, former Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers suffered a season-ending injury. Rodgers was diagnosed with a torn Achilles earlier today after a sack on just his 4th play in New York green. This early injury gives the starting quarterback job back to Zach Wilson, who helped lead the Jets to an overtime victory against the Buffalo Bills last night. Due to this injury, the Packers will receive the Jets' 2nd-round draft pick in 2024 instead of a first that they would have received if Rodgers had played 65% of the snaps this year. To stay on the field, Delta Boys Soccer is off to a hot start under a new head coach. NewsLink Indiana's Jake Garcia checks in on the squad's success.
Delta Boys Soccer has a new captain at the helm. First-year head coach Tony Pierce is helping the Eagles fly through the season with an impressive 7-2 record after a competitive win over Yorktown on Monday.
It's been a little bit of adjustment. Like I said, trying to change some of the mindset of guys that have played here for 3 or 4 years now, because it's just getting them used to the new role that we're looking for out of them. But overall, it's working fairly well.
With a new head coach comes a new mantra. Senior Braden Stanley touches on their newfound importance of having each other's backs to have success on the field each and every match.
Our team's very young, so respect is a big thing. We're trying to be as respectful to our new coach and to give him as much respect as we can, and that will translate onto the field.
As respect and the momentum continue to grow, attention will be directed to the outcome for the remainder of the season. Coach Pierce solidifies his new group's mindset as they make their push to sectionals.
We just want to continue focusing on doing what we do and just trying to get better. That's our, if you see the back of my shirt, our slogan this year is better every day. So that's kind of the mindset we've had.
The mentality of getting better and growing together is just what these young Eagles need to find their flow at the right time.
Not get in our own heads. I mean, like I said earlier, we have a young team, so that could happen very easily. We need to keep ourselves humble and keep doing what we're doing, pass well, and we'll accomplish some things in the postseason.
The Eagles will travel to Pendleton to take on the Arabians at 7 p.m. on Thursday. In Muncie, Jake Garcia, NewsLink, Indiana.
To kick things over to the Bryna Sports Complex, for the second time in her career, junior keeper Bethany Mosier is named Mid-American Conference Defensive Player of the Week. This past Thursday, the Cardinals hit the road to face off with the Vanderbilt Commodores. Mosier held her ground and kept the Commodores scoreless till the 88th minute. The junior was locked in once again on Sunday as the Cards took on Austin Peay. Mosier made all 3 saves on goals and earned a shutout for the squad. The keeper posted a .875 save percentage on the week, saving 7 of 8 shots on goal. Mosier and Ball State Soccer will be back in action on Thursday as they take on in-state foe Butler in Indianapolis at 7 p.m. Obviously, the story of the night, Aaron Rodgers only playing 4 snaps for the Jets. If I bought that Aaron Rodgers Packers jersey, Jets jersey, and bought some new season tickets, I'm reeling right now.
And Rodgers being up there in age, this injury may just be the cutter of his
it
Hall
may
of
be
Fame
the
career.
end.
Yeah.
It may be the end for Rodgers, which stinks because I enjoyed seeing him play.
I'm so sorry to anyone who had them in the fantasy leagues this year.
Ugh,
After the
good.
break, Abigail Urban has your look at campus coverage.
And we have one more final check at the weather.
I love you!
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
and Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom
Reaching residential areas.
and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Abigail Urban, and this is your campus coverage. The final chapter of what used to be the university's biggest dorm has now been set in stone. La Follette used to be the home to thousands of students, and after many years of renovations, the dorm was torn down last year. The area is now a green space. The pillars have the names of the halls and can all be used as the lounge space for people on campus. Associate Vice President for Facilities Planning and Management Jim Lowe says it's meant to be a place where students can go to reduce stress in between classes.
So what we decided to create here to coincide with the 4 residence halls that surround us and the dining facility is a place where students, faculty, staff can sit on a nice day like today and just enjoy the weather.
Along with the pillars and sitting spaces, Lowe says that more furniture will be added to the green space in a few weeks.
Awesome that they found a way to kind of remember that dorm while creating something new on campus. So thanks so much, Abigail. We'll take one final look at weather with Hope.
Well, this week is the perfect week to get outdoors, maybe lounge around, study outside, do whatever you want outside, as plenty of sunshine across the week and that fall-like feel is back. In action, 70s across the board, 74 for your day on Thursday, 76 on Friday, and again a great day on Saturday if you're planning on going out to the Cardinals home opener. 77 degrees, sunshine and clouds throughout the day before rain showers start to enter the picture Saturday night, and going into Sunday when we see an increased chance of showers and thunderstorms.
Thanks so much, Hope. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.